James Gunn's Superman paid tribute to Christopher Reeve by incorporating a role that defines personal and professional careers together. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Will Reeves' cameo in James Gunn's Superman is more than just a tribute to his father, the legendary Christopher Reeve. According to Reeve, the role he played as a television news correspondent wasn't just a clever nod to his real-life career, it was an incredibly personal and meaningful experience. He shared that Superman had many cameos alongside its wonderful main acting cast. One of them was Will Reeve, the son of veteran actor Christopher Reeve. In hindsight, it seems that James Gunn paid tribute to an exemplary actor in a way by including his son in the movie, which is a great directorial move. In an interview with the New York Post, via People, Will Reeve shared his thoughts on being a part of James Gunn's vision, saying, "I went on set, I did my thing for a few minutes, and then got in the car to head back to the airport to go home." He further explained, laughing, "And by the time I had gotten to the gate, it had leaked online that I had a cameo." With the fans keeping their eyes on the news to watch out for the movements in such big films, it seems that the audience did have an idea of Reeve being a part of the film, though only hardcore fans noticed his role in the film. Let's dive deep into what the actor has more to tell about his work in the film, and why James Gunn's casting move proves to be the most strategic. Reeve also shared his experience of working in the film, that despite being comfortable on live television, he was terrified with all the people around him on the set and having to deliver his single line. His comment highlights the real emotion behind the cameo, making it a powerful and touching moment for fans of his father and the Superman's character. "I was honored to get the call from the wonderful filmmakers, and I jumped at the opportunity." He further continued saying, "It was a nice homage, I think, to my dad, who for millions of people has been Superman for generations, and for the filmmakers of this new version of Superman. To include me as a way to include him meant a lot." The role itself was a perfect fit for Reeve, as he is a correspondent for ABC News. The mirroring of his real-life profession with the character of a journalist in Superman is a beautiful replica of his father Christopher Reeve's dual identity as Clark Kent and a hardworking reporter. This proves the director's vision for the movie and his long-term perspective regarding the characters. With Superman, he did not just make a movie, but created a universe that will align many stories in the future. James Gunn's approach to filmmaking seems to be different, insightful, and well thought out. Each of the character portrayal in the film have something to do with the storyline. In simple terms, none of the actors look lethargic or unimportant. Apart from Will Reeve, several other moments honor the past while setting up the future. We see John Cena reprising his role as Peacemaker and Frank Grillo appearing as Rick Flag Sr., roles that were established in previous DC projects. Moreover, even Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, shows up as Maxwell Lord, a key character who will surely be important later on. All these characters just do not fill up the positions, but when you see the film, you realize that these portrayals always existed and are now of great importance. In short, it's a way of saying, this is the DC universe, and it's full of history. At the end, what makes James Gunn's Superman so promising is not just the film's action or the special effects. It's the heart and soul that Gunn and his team have poured into it. It's a message that the past isn't something to be forgotten, but something to be honored as we look to the future. What do you think about Will Reeve's character in the film? Let us know in the comments below. This proves the director's vision for the movie and his long-term perspective regarding the characters. With Superman, he did not just make a movie, but created a universe that will align many stories in the future. James Gunn's Superman features a 12-minute dialogue scene that became his favorite moment, offering emotional depth rarely seen in superhero movies. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Speaking with Josh Horowitz, James Gunn addressed his unprecedented 12-minute talking scene between Lois Lane and Clark Kent. During the discussion, the filmmaker revealed that the scene had barely changed from the time he first wrote it. According to Gunn, the final version used in the movie is almost exactly the same as the one they screen tested. Perhaps a few lines or two were trimmed, but the overall structure, dialogue, and shots stayed true to the original idea. That alone shows how confident he was in this scene. Now, what made that scene even more interesting is how James Gunn treated both characters equally. He didn't just make Superman the obvious hero or Lois the one who's always right. Instead, he made sure both characters had valid arguments. In that scene, He made Lois Lane stand for truth and practicality, while Clark Kent focused on the value of life and doing the right thing. These are two very different yet important ways of seeing the world, and Gunn wanted both to be respected in the scene. Part of that also shows just like how each of these characters comes across in the scene. I mean, when I wrote the scene and I look at the scene myself, I see both their points of view. I see Lois's point of view. I see, his point of view. She's talking about truth and he's talking about life, right? Both important values and both their key important values in their lives. James Gunn shared that when he watches the scene, he sees both sides clearly. He agrees with both of them at different moments, and that's what makes the scene work so well. Lois questions the consequences of Superman's actions, whereas Clark believes that saving lives in the moment is always the right thing to do. In a world where superhero movies are often filled with punches and explosions, James Gunn flipped the script, literally. His newly released Superman film isn't just packed with epic battles and alien threats, it also features a 12-minute conversation. Yes, just a raw, dialogue-heavy discussion between Lois Lane and Clark Kent. No action, just a deep dive into truth, morality, and the meaning of life. It's the kind of creative risk that most superhero directors don't dare to take. However, for James Gunn, it became not only a standout moment in the film but also his personal favorite. During an interview with Josh Horowitz, Gunn admitted this talking scene was the biggest gamble of the movie, because superhero fans aren't used to sitting still that long unless a city is crumbling. Josh Horowitz asked, "What was the biggest risk you took creatively?" James Gunn responded, "The biggest risk I took was putting a 12-minute talking scene in a superhero movie. There's just no doubt. It's fantastic. It's probably my favorite scene in the film. If I haven't seen it as many times as I have, and if I ever have to see it again, I'll jump out that window. So let's check out what makes it so special. Because, as per Gunn, it's the most honest, nuanced, and surprisingly human scene throughout the movie." And not to mention, the director also cited this heavy conversation as the loudest moment in his superhero movie. Further into the conversation, James Gunn admitted that while both Lois Lane and Clark Kent make strong points, most people naturally agree with Superman. After all, Clark represents our moral compass. He believes saving lives is the top priority, even if it means rushing in without knowing all the details. By letting both characters speak their minds and showing their perspectives honestly, James Gunn brought out a rare emotional depth in his superhero movie. He wasn't interested in who was right or wrong. He wanted to show a real debate between two smart, passionate people who care about doing what's best. In the scene, we can see how she questions Superman's methods, wondering if his actions might actually lead to more harm than good. Her thinking is based on real-world consequences, not just good intentions. This is what makes the conversation more